This is Derek and Andrew from John Sewer. We're at camera inspecting main sewer line in Title Boxing. Going to dye test the line from up above in the bookstore, trying to figure out what ties into the line down in Title. It's about 40 feet away, some sort of a Y or a connection. I'm going to send it up to the connection, then we'll go upstairs, run some water with some dye, and hopefully figure out what's tying into it. Just to clean out the ring. We'll zero it out. As you can see, some of this pipe's been relined. I think that's already been documented, but I'm just going to throw it in there. The lining ends here around 19 feet. Just under 53 feet, or right around 53 feet. You can see something tying in on the left. It's coming in up kind of high, so we'll come back to that. I'm going to pull it back a little bit further to around 40 feet and just make sure I didn't miss anything. Alright, I'm going to pause the video for a second. I'm going to go upstairs, put some dye in the toilet, and run some water, see if we can figure out where their line ties into this line. Stand by. Alright, so as you can see, the water is blue right here. We were able to find some blue dye. They definitely tie into each other. Looks like it ties in right around where this line goes underwater, which is kind of an issue. We can't see the exact tie-in, but we're going to locate this spot roughly around 60 feet. We'll mark it, and then we know that's about where the line ties in. Again, not exactly. The line's underwater because of bad pitch, so we can't tell. But once we're back at the tie-in at 53 feet, we don't see any blue dye coming in. We move up to about 60 feet. Again, it's underwater, but we can see that's where the blue dye starts. So this has to be roughly where it ties in. I'm going to pause the video, run a bunch of water, get rid of all this blue dye, and then go upstairs and put some dye in the kitchen and just see where that see what's tying in there at 53 feet, because we can see a big rush of water coming in there. Stand by. Alright, so we're running running all the drains up in the kitchen now to see what's tying in here at 53 feet. It looks like we can see some blue dye here, so it looks like this is it. I'll just pull it back a little to make sure it's not tying in somewhere else and go forward a little. Stand by. Alright, so that confirms it. We got the kitchen tying in around 53 feet, and then we got the toilets tying in roughly around 60 feet. Again, it's underwater, so it's hard to tell. This line needs some work anyway, so it's worth digging up and repairing and checking out. We're just going to get a location on those two spots, and we can pass this along to the engineer and see what they want to do. Just to show again, you can see the blue dye pouring in here from the kitchen. Alright, so we marked this spot where the kitchen ties in at 53 feet. It was under the rug. There's a couple metal plates over there. Looks like there's an old abandoned check valve. We took some pictures and marked it with tape. It's about 2 feet deep, just for reference in case the tape gets moved. Stand by. Alright, it seems to me like the bathrooms are stacked on each other. It seems like they both tie in right around the 60-foot mark. If you think about the way it's set up upstairs, they're pretty, it's almost like a mirrored setup. They're in roughly the same spot, so they probably just tie into a common stack. Running some, flushing the toilets down in tidal and putting some dye in there right now, just again to try and see if they tie in at the same spot and where they tie in. It seems like roughly the 60-foot mark. So I'm just going to mark the spot so we know that this is where the bathrooms tie in. Stand by. Oh. All right, so we got both locations. One of them's right near the plates, under the rug, over by the right before the stairs, and then the connection where both the Title bathrooms and the Trident bathrooms tie in is directly under the stairs. I put some tape on the second stair going up. I also took a picture just in case it gets moved. It's about 4 feet down from the stair, so once the stairs are gone, it's probably about roughly 2 feet down. We don't know exactly where it ties in again because everything's underwater, but the Y is definitely close by. Going to pull the camera out, and that should conclude the camera inspection. If you have any questions, you can call the office and ask for Derek, 991. Thanks for using John Sewer. Alright, so we're actually doing a little bit more camera work, testing out the floor drain over in the sprinkler room. Got the water running, got the dye in there. I don't see anything yet. Looks like it might tie in somewhere else. This just looks like some leftover dye from earlier. Oh, maybe not actually. Alright, so this is definitely coming from the floor drain. I'm just going to run next door and put some more dye in. Stand by. Alright, so roughly around 20 feet from this clean out is where the floor drain over in the sprinkler room ties in. It's a little tough to tell exactly where it is because of all the steam from the hot water being ran above. We have documented and located this tie-in before, so we should, there should be record of it. But I'm going to give a mark right around 20 feet where it ties in. And then there is also water tying into the clean out that you can see, and I guess you guys are already aware of the 4-inch stack coming down from Trident, which is a prep sink, and possibly some of the floor drains from Trident as well behind the bar. Alright, so that's going to conclude the camera inspection. We located everything with tape. It's roughly 2 feet deep in pretty much most spots. Some of the stuff is under the mats. We took photos. We know where the floor drain ties in, the bathrooms from upstairs, the dish machine from upstairs, and then we're already aware that the prep sink and probably the floor drains from the bar tie in. You can see them tying into this clean out. There's a 4-inch stack and an access panel that you guys are already aware of. So that should conclude the camera inspection. Thanks for using John Sewer.